Hey everybody, this is Dr. Ryan Bradshaw again, coming at you this week, the week of January 8th. And this is a specific podcast and video cast going out to my students to talk about a few things they've got going on this week. Specifically, they want to take some time to go through your course shells and identify exactly what's due and when. But before I get to that, I did want to talk a little bit about a few other things. And it's not a huge deal, but just a few things, housekeeping things. Of course, I want to remind you again about the enrollment verification quiz. I know that's something that I told you in the beginning was going to be belabored, but it's extremely important that we have that enrollment verification quiz just because it confirms your enrollment in the class to let us know that you are signed up for the correct course and committed to taking the class. Beyond that, there is a census date coming up for those classes. I don't know if the snow days will cause a shift in those census dates or not. So just hang on until I have further updates on that. Other information, will come out via email the next day or two, whether regarding like makeup policy on the snow days. Typically, when we do have a closure for like a weather event, we will have some type of makeup. Don't know what it's going to be yet. I talked to the dean today, and she'll get us that information as soon as she has it available. So once again, email is the best way to communicate with me and for me to get information to you. So I told my class this morning, if you're not checking your email daily, you're doing it wrong. If you want to be successful, you've got to be engaged. You've got to be connected to the campus, stay connected to your email, and make sure that you're doing the work and either show up to class online or show up to class on campus. Speaking of email, though, I just wanted to right off the gate talk about some email etiquette things. When you email me with a question, a couple things I need right out of the gate. I need to know what your specific question is and which class that you're in and your full name. So like if you say, hey, Dr. Bradshaw, I'm in your business 13755 class and I have this specific question, and then however you want to sign it, but just make sure you put your first and your last name. So when I go look up your information or look up your question, I know exactly what class to go to. I can't tell you how many times a semester I will say, send the email back which class, because I don't know which class you're in. And I'll have around 130 students, so for me to go digging through every class trying to find which specific class you're talking about to identify your name as being a part of that class, it just will save time and effort. And you might think, doesn't sound like a lot of time. How long does it take to look that up? A minute or two? But imagine it happens 100 times a semester, and it takes 2 minutes every time. It starts to add up. And it's not just that thing, it's all these other little details. So the more communication you can give me up front, the faster the process goes and the better, more streamlined it works for everybody. Also, I want to make you aware of, I've had some people ask me about books and MindTap and things like that. You will have 2 weeks of a free trial. So if you don't have your book yet, that's fine. But if you want to go ahead and get access to MindTap, which you should immediately, go ahead and jump into MindTap. And this is for all classes except Business 110, which I don't currently have a section of that, but all other classes except for 110 and 230. And I'll talk to my 230 students in a moment, the small business management class. But everybody else should have assignments in MindTap. And so you want to get the course schedule and the syllabus, make sure you follow that schedule. I may do some adjustments on due dates depending on the guidance I'm given regarding makeup. But for the most part, you should be able to jump in and go right to work on some of those assignments for my online students. But keep in mind, once again, first 2 weeks are free. You can access MindTap, the class, the course shell on MindTap, and you can access the ebook. So there's no excuse why you can't go ahead and get in and check that out. If you have trouble getting into MindTap, don't wait around and delay and say, well, I can't get in, so I'm just going to wait around and see what happens. That is a mistake. That will cost you dearly because you could miss 3, 4, 5 assignments right out of the gate trying to wait around for assistance. If you're having trouble with assistance, you need to be proactive, need to let me know, and need to be willing to come to campus if you can't get it resolved either at the house or through Cengage Technical Support, which Cengage is the parent company of the MindTap software and program. So you have to be proactive with this stuff. You can't just say, well, it's not working, I'm going to sit back and see what happens. That is a mistake. So you need to be, for my online students, I know it's convenient to be online, but you need to be willing to get up and come to campus for support if that's what it takes. We do have a computer lab in the Magnolia building. It's on the second floor, very easy to find. I'm in Spruce 144, office hour every day from 9 to 10, and I'm here often other times. So if you need assistance beyond what you can handle at the house, don't be afraid to come to campus. We also have a tutoring lab that is very skilled at helping people get access to MindTap, things like that. I mentioned the books and codes already. I mentioned the enrollment verification quiz. I do want to take a moment to kind of walk through each of the classes for this week. Let's see. I'm going to start out just very briefly. I'm going to go through everybody's class. This is Business 115. I do have a seated and online section. However, the calendar is duplicated for both. So it doesn't matter if you're in my seated or in my online class, the assignments are the same. For my online section, you should have already completed the enrollment verification. If you still have not done it, go ahead and do it. Chapter 1 assignments are showing due this Friday the 12th. Once again, I may do an extension on that, but I'm not 100% certain if I am going to do the extension yet. So I will be communicating later in the week, depending on what comes down about the makeup and whatnot. You can see right here on the calendar, this is for all classes, we do have a Martin Luther King holiday next Monday, or this coming Monday on the 15th. The physical campus will be closed, and I don't have any assignments scheduled for any of my online classes or physical classes that day. So just keep that in mind. But you can just, as a heads up for my Business 115 students, the next 2 weeks you can see Chapter 1, 2, and 4 due with a test coming up on the 19th. So stay tuned. Let me see what else I got. All right, for my Business 137 students, we haven't met yet. We'll have our first class meeting tomorrow, Tuesday the 9th, and we will be starting to go over the Chapter 1 assignments. So stay tuned with that. We'll communicate more in class about that. All right, for my Business 230 students, I did post a video in the week 1 materials to kind of get you going to discuss the first assignment, which is a case study podcast. Very easy to access online and listen to. It's about a 30-minute podcast, and it discusses Sarah Blakely, who started a company called Spanx. Very interesting stuff. And so check that out. If you have questions about that, don't hesitate to email me. And there is a course overview video, which is also in that section that you can get some information about this week's assignments. And I will be posting another video soon for next week's work. So this is a second time I've taught this course. I taught it in the classroom last year. So this is a new build for an online course. So we're going to be developing a business plan over the next 16 weeks or so. Also, let's see, Business 240, the ethics course. This is an 8-week course, and you can see it is a very tight schedule because it's an 8-week course. So you can see that Chapter 1 assignments are due tomorrow. This means you should have access to MindTap and already have been working on Chapter 1. If you haven't done that, you need to do it today and tomorrow. Questions with any of that, let me know. But yes, this is a very tight schedule with regard to that. And then lastly, I have the Business 13755, which is also an 8-week course, and it is a very tight schedule. So you can see that the Chapter 1 assignments are due Wednesday, 2 days from now, and the Chapter 2 are due Friday. And I understand, once again, it's a very tight schedule, but when you enroll in an 8-week class, you're still doing the same amount of work, but just doing it in half the time. And that's the kind of the downside of an 8-week class is that, yes, it does end faster, but you still have to do the same amount of work. All right, so that's it for going over everything that's happening as far as assignments this week. Just to recap, if you do need to email me, make sure you include your full name, the course, and your specific question. That's just some of the email etiquette. Keep in mind, as a reminder from our last video that I did last week, that I don't have any late work because I give everybody the benefit of the doubt for one time a semester, but I can't give you unlimited opportunities to turn in late work. It's not fair to your classmates and other students. So just keep that in mind and save that for when it counts. I told my class today in the classroom that if you will go ahead and do your work a day or two before the due date, and that way if you have an issue, you can track to see if there's a way that you can improve it, or a way to fix that issue in advance without having to worry about panicking at the last day. I also mentioned to my class today that I don't have any assignments due for any of my classes over the weekend. The reason being, I want you to enjoy your weekends this semester as far as for my coursework. I've always done no assignments on the weekends. I want you to do the work within the school week, and if you have an issue, we resolve it within the school week. And then if you have a problem, I didn't want you to be there on a Sunday night trying to do last minute assignments and something doesn't work, and you try to get it with me and it just doesn't work. So keep that in mind. It's a benefit to you. So go ahead and work diligently throughout the week so you can enjoy your weekend. I mentioned about the free book or the free code for 2 weeks. You can have access to the ebook. And once again, enrollment verification quizzes. If you are in the online section, make sure you go ahead and do that. Anything else, don't hesitate to email me. We've already got a busy start to the semester, but it's a good start. And so I'm looking forward to working with you, and hopefully there won't be any more snow days to delay our progress from here on out. So, all right, guys, have a great week, and I'll be checking in again soon. So talk to you soon. Have a good one.